everybody, what happens in the 7 months of the propagation phase? Here we have in the October, in the northern hemisphere, I'm explaining the northern hemisphere. At the end of also I will explain for the southern hemisphere what's happening. In the October, we have a bulbs, a sprout, and the flower. In the October, as you can see, we don't have any roots, any leaves. The propagation phase exactly started when the flowering time finished. When we finish the flowering, exactly the propagation will start. But for the propagation phase, we should provide suitable substrate, formulated substrate, and then we start. Because the bulb should put the bulb inside the substrate on your shelves and then start. Usually starting the propagation is the border between at the end of October or the beginning November. What usually happens, the propagation from the beginning November. When the bulbs, it is enough the bulb face with the humid substrate. Exactly in this part, the roots will appear with the beginning of the rooting. The roots are small. Also the leaves very little, in the 2 or 3 centimeters in the November. Now in this stage, because the roots in the small and we want to roots have a strong roots, because these small roots, the rudimentary roots, should be converted into strong roots. What should we do? In this stage, we should give the macro element, especially phosphor, because the phosphor, the best way for the absorbing the phosphorus is the roots. Also phosphorus itself help to the promoting and the extension of the roots. When you have the strong roots, it's clear with the strong leaves, strong the mother bud. Okay? Now in this stage only we should like humic acid, like the phosphor, everything that help us for the promoting the roots. This is in the November. In the November, beginning of November, the bulbs face with the substrate, and when we give the macro element like the phosphorus, and in this stage we have near the 3 centimeters roots. After the finishing the November, in the December, the leaves started to the growing more than the 2 centimeters in the November. We have the 4 centimeters leaves. Also, we have the maximum size of the roots. The roots completely in the maximum size of roots. Therefore, in this stage, that is a very important. Give the too much water. Very important, because we have the strong roots. And again, we should give elements like phosphorus and the calcium. Because when we receive, because the best way for the absorbing of the phosphorus in the roots. Because when you have the maximum roots, we shouldn't give the element like the phosphor. Because the best way for the absorbing phosphorus is the roots. Therefore, in this month, December, in the northern hemisphere, we should give the elements like the phosphorus. In December, we have also 4 centimeters leaves. Also, we should give the maximum water and elements like phosphorus. In the January, again, also we have the increasing in the leaves. The leaves started to the 7 centimeters, 8 centimeters. Also, the roots are strong as much as the December. In this stage, we should give again waters, also the nutrients like the calcium, phosphorus, potassium. Because in this stage, very important, we should increase the size of the root, the size of the leaves, and also the size of the roots. Because the new bulbs, the daughter bulbs, the bulb that in the next year want to give you flowers, the new flowers, only on 3 ways receiving volume. The mother bulbs, that the last year you received the flower, and the roots and the leaves. Your try should be on the focus on the strong in the increasing the size of the roots, keeping the volume of the mother bulb, and also increasing the size of the leaf. We have in the January also mother bulb is alive. You can receive the benefits of the mother bulb. When you have the mistake in the propagation phase, mother bulbs in this stage will be destroyed. In this stage will be destroyed. You know, when the mother bulb destroyed, the new bulb doesn't be destroyed, the new bulb, but the size of the new bulb will be decreased. Therefore, you try, because in the naturally, you can't even in the January, you can't keep the mother bulb. Therefore, you should try in the keeping the mother bulb with the giving the suitable water, giving the best temperature, giving the best fertilizer, the cultivation depths, the time. It is very important. The time, you should keep the time finishing the flowering and starting the propagation. When you keep this distance, the time, how many days after the finishing flowering you start the propagation. All of these determine having the healthy mother bulb. Your type should be at least, even in the January, you should keep the mother bulb with the giving the suitable. Because the mother bulb, if you keep the mother bulb is able give the nutrients to the roots, to the leaves. When you have the strong mother bulb is equal with the strong leaves, strong roots in the January. Therefore, in the January also you should give a strong water, and also the elements like the phosphor, calcium, potassium. In the February, you have the maximum size of the leaves so that they cannot stand because too much, because especially in on your shelves, when you have the, for example, the 1 meters, they can grow. 1 meters, the distance of your shelf is 40 centimeters. Therefore, they bend on the down floor of your shelf like this, like the tree, and we have the maximum leaves. The leaves like the 70 centimeters, 100 centimeters. We have the maximum roots, and the roots, the volume and the size of the roots will be appear. When we have because the very minimum in the roots, in this shape in the February, that is very clear. We have strong leaves, but root not strong. Therefore, we shouldn't give the nutrients like the calcium. We stop giving the macro element like the calcium, phosphorus, and the potassium. Only focus on the trace element like the iron, zinc, manganese, and the copper and the bore like this in this stage. Because the trace element, micro element, the best way for absorbing the trace element is the leaves. We should spray. We should spray the trace element. When you spray the leaves, also you provide the water requirements of the bulbs. In this stage, this is the February, also the green. In the March, also we have the maximum size of the leaves. In the mother bulbs, started to the shrinking, very small the mother bulbs, near the 80% completely destroyed the mother bulb. That is completely natural, but we have also the maximum roots, only 5%, 3% is the yellow. But the new bulbs in the March very clear, 1, 2, 3 is the normal. If you see you have the 10 bulbs, 7 bulbs, it means you have a wrong in the removing the lateral bulbs, in the keeping the more lateral bulb. Therefore, in this stage you should have a 3 bulbs, 1, 2, 3, but all of them big one. The mother bulbs completely shrink, and we have the maximum, the roots very, very low, but also we have the esteron. That is our, in the January, February, all your crop, with keeping the best temperature, nutrients, and the amount of the water that you calculate, you try also should be the maximum leaves. Your task always in your mind, type on your mind, in the February and March, I should keep completely green and the maximum size, because you know, my expectation in the mother bulbs, okay, my expectation in the December, in the January, my expectation if the mother bulbs is completely healthy, because I want to receive nutrients by the new bulb. But in the January and in the February and March, I cannot expect from the mother bulb because the mother bulbs completely natural will be destroyed. My expectation now in the February and the March is the leaves. The leaves should be green, okay? You're right, with giving the best trace element, temperature, and the water. And this is the April. After the March, in the April, all the leaves will be yellow. When this near the 80%, 90% completely yellow, and the daughter bulbs very clear, completely adult, 1, 2, 3, and you can remove them. And this process you can again put in the even in the April you can separate it and give the dormancy condition and start the new cycle. In the April you can for example remove the bulbs and your shelf you can for example cultivate another thing like the exotic mushroom or the button mushroom in the after April, because in the June, July, for example, you can remove them, separate them, and put in the boxes together, and the 3 months only in the dormancy, completely press and use your shelf with the another crops on your shelf. This is a very important. And also in the April, completely yellow, we don't have any roots, only 3 bulbs. These bulbs ready for starting the new flowering for the next year. But that is very important. Some of you I have seen in the April also started giving the water fertilizer. When the leaves are the yellow, how they can receive the nutrients or the water? In this stage, when you see the 40%, 50% of your leaves in the yellow, you should stop any watering, any fertilizer. Because if you give the water, we don't have any absorption. Therefore, the water come to the bulbs, and even the healthy bulb face with the problem. Even with the best fertilizer that you give in the 6 months, even with the best water. But if you have in your run, in the mistake, in the April, and they give water when the leaves are green, all the bulb will be destroyed. Very important. Therefore, it is enough for the southern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, Australia, South Africa, in this October flowering happen in the April. Beginning of the propagation in the May, in the June, July. Exactly because this is the opposite of the northern hemisphere. But it is enough in the propagation phase happens for the preventing any confusing, preventing the propagation in the both hemisphere. Propagation happens in the first months, at the last month of the autumn and the first month of the winter. Almost 3 months of the winter and the 1 month of the spring, we have the propagation in the both hemisphere. But this is for the northern hemisphere. Thank you. If you want to buy my book, it is enough. Text me on WhatsApp 009 8935 825 3945. Thank you.